Hey guys. Well, it is the end of week 5. Wow, that's crazy. Um, so a little update. I've had some health issues. I've had some stomach problems. I think it was a virus. I'm not sure. I've had all the tests. It was actually kind of scary for a little bit. I had to go get a CT scan. They thought it might have been my appendix. It wasn't COVID. I didn't have that, but yeah, I definitely fell off the wagon. There were a few things that um I just couldn't eat. Like there was a lot of food that I was just kind of really hesitant to eat, and also that I really wanted to stick with kind of really plain nutritious food. So um I did go and buy some groceries. I went and brought some produce so that I could have some fresh fruit and veggies in the house because I was pretty much out of that. Other than that, I didn't get anything else for the pantry. We are still 100% stocked in our pantry, and I'm gonna take you on a pantry tour and show you. I didn't film a ton of video for the last couple of weeks because of the health problems that I've been having. I have not been filming. It's been a whirlwind of tests, doctor visits, but I feel a lot better, and we're on the mend. So thank you, and here's the video. Hey guys, we are on week 4 of the pantry challenge, and I gotta tell you, it's been a rough week. I've had some stomach bug going on, and consequently, like my husband and my daughter had to basically take over everything. And the two things that I do that they don't normally do is I do chores for the animals, and I do dinner, and I cook. My husband hates to cook. He's not really great at it, but he really showed me that he loves me this time because he took good care of me. And so to repay him, I'm going to make him something that he hasn't had for a really long time, and I know that he's going to be super excited to have some. I'm going to make him some little mini scotch pies. Okay, so it's going to be 100 grams of fat and 120 milliliters of water. Bring it over to the stove, boil it up, make it really, and then we add 250 grams of plain flour. I've got my fat and my water boiled together. So now I'm just gonna add in the flour. And then stir it up into soft dough. And you want to bring it together. And yeah, it's hot. There we go. I just put it into a little log. So I cut my log. I've got my muffin tin that I'm going to use, and I'm really just going to flatten it out and then start working it up the edges on the muffin tin. And then I'm going to chill these in the fridge for a while before I bake them. So just put them in the shell and then work them up the sides as far as they'll go. It can be pretty thick. Alright, here they are. So what I found was I got this little mace container that I found that's the easiest thing is just to kind of swirl it in there and to push it up the sides and then just kind of poke it down a little bit to make it even. And that worked for me so far. And now I'm going to get the filling together and I'll show you what that looks like. So what I have in I'm just going to use the pot that I did the crust in. And I just have one small minced onion. And this is my ground lamb from our lambs that we had raised last year. You can use pork, you could use beef. I think it's pretty traditional to use lamb, but you don't have to. And then just a little herbage, just to brighten it up. I'm just using a little dried basil. That. And the traditional flavor for this is mace. If you don't have mace, because sometimes it's hard to find, you can definitely use nutmeg. And then I'm going to use this because it's very potent flavor, and it only calls for half a teaspoon. And then some salt. I'm going to use a teaspoon. And then lots of ground pepper. Like, don't be shy with the pepper. I'm just probably going to add about a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Okay, now I'm going to fill them up and pop them in the fridge. Okay, now the lids here, you can roll them out. I don't feel there's a need to roll them, as you can just manipulate them with your fingers and then just kind of push it in on top and roll the edge down. And then cut a little hole in the center. Make sure you don't go all the way down to the bottom, because I'm pretty sure I just did that with that one. And there you go, Bob's your uncle. Okay, that's what they look like. I'm gonna pop them in the fridge and then I'll put them in the oven about an hour before my husband gets home, and he can have them fresh and hot, and I'll serve them with some baked beans on top. So here's the little mini scotch pies. They're little handheld pies. They're a little rough around the edges, but you know what? That's okay. They look good. We're gonna eat them. Well, Gordon's gonna eat them. I'm gonna watch longingly while he eats the gluten-y crust. It's Swedish meatballs over potatoes, and I'm gonna get a little bit of cranberry sauce in there too, and it's gonna be delicious. That's my lunch and probably my dinner, because I can't eat the steak pies or the little pies. Tonight's dinner, it's Monday, is mashed potatoes with some canned chicken, which I put into a gravy, and just a chicken gravy, nothing special or fancy. Some canned corn, and I put some salt and pepper, and that's pretty much it. The mashed potatoes just have goat milk and butter in them, so I made myself kind of like a little KFC bowl for dinner tonight. Simple, easy dinner. Tonight's just a simple, easy dinner. We've got some steak, baked potato, and cucumbers and sour cream. Just simple. Very easy, very tasty. All right, do it. Do it.
Yeah!
Are you gonna eat it now? Is it good? Take a bite.
Fish.
Take a bite. Is it good?
That was hard to bite into.
Well, it's got to be sturdy enough, right? You're just going to lick the frosting off of it now, aren't you? Okay, cool. Love you. Today, for the first time, I'm going to try making some goat mozzarella. I have enough. Luna's giving quite a bit now. So I just started my pot. I didn't actually do the overnight one. I'm just going to do the slow mozzarella. So the curds have set with the rennet, and they're just really soft right now. I just cut them and heated them back up to 90 degrees. And now I'm just going to come and I recut all of them. These curds are really pretty. They're really nice looking. So I'm just going to come and stir every few minutes until they're the size and texture that I want them to be. And then I'm going to let them sit under the whey for probably quite a few hours until they start stretching. Did the curds, stirred them up, let them settle, took them out, and then strained the curds, and now they're back in the whey, and I'm taking pieces off to do the stretch test every couple of hours. And I don't like this way. I'm going to go back to my old way of just letting the culture sit overnight before I put it all together. Because it's probably been in there about 5 hours, and it's still not giving me that good stretch test. So we'll wait and see. We'll see how it does. All right, my mozzarella balls are finally done. They didn't stretch as much as I'd like them to, but next time we'll just do our old recipe. But this was Luna's milk, and this is my first goat mozzarella. So I'm overall pleased with it. It's not quite as stretchy as I'd like it to. I just put some salt in the whey and let it hang out for a while. Now I'm just going to put it in this container and just refrigerate it and let it hang out, and then I'll use it in a recipe sometime this week. What I'm doing is I'm making up another batch of taco meat that I'm going to freeze dry for my youngest son, because he is, like I said before, he's obsessed with tacos. And to make my life less stressful, I like to have some on hand. And he goes through it so quick that I'm making like a mishmash of different ground meats. I've got some ground beef, I've got some ground venison from car-killed deer that I harvested earlier this year. I'll throw a picture of that in there. Didn't film it because it was frozen and it was cold, and I was covered head to toe with blood. It was just, it was a mess, and it was also freezing at the time, so I really didn't get any photo or any pictures or any footage of it. But anyway, I've got some ground venison, I've got some ground pork from our pigs, and I'm just gonna mix it all together with some taco seasoning, and I'm going to do it in my big roaster, because I'm gonna do like 10 pounds of it. And then I'll put it on the freeze dryer trays and we'll let it cool, and then we'll pop it in the freeze dryer. If any of you are following along on my freeze dryer saga, Harvest Right has been very good to me. Bitchin' Betty has got a brand new pump, and it's the Premier pump, and I am sending back my oilless pump. So I've had some, the oilless pump has been back twice. This is its third time out, and so I said I'm done with it. I need to have something different, and Harvest Right was kind enough to send me the Premier pump, and they also sent me, because of my trouble, they sent me a oil filter too. So, and they sent some oil. So I'm gonna send back the oilless pump, and hopefully this saga of having the pump go out every 3 batches. All right, so Bitching Betty. We'll hope maybe she's not gonna be Bitching Betty anymore. Maybe we'll have to think of a new name for her. All right, so we're ready to put our meat in the trays into the freeze dryer, and we'll see if Bitching Betty is gonna behave for us. Okay, so I'm gonna give her a start. Okay, so this is one of 4 jars that I got out of the freeze dryer for the taco meat. It's very dry, and I put it in a half-gallon jar, and I put it in the cupboard, and when I reheat it, I rehydrate it, I just put a little bit in a bowl, throw a little bit of water in there, put it in the microwave for a minute, and pretty much instant taco meat for any picky child's meal. Tonight I'm having some crack salad for dinner. I'm going to put some extra citrus in there. Crack salad. I'm going to put some extra citrus in there to bring it out, and I'll have to rehydrate it with a little bit of water. But I'm also going to add some more cumin and maybe a little bit more olive oil, because that got totally sucked up when I freeze dried it. Oh yeah. My husband got these for me because I was not feeling good. I had a bunch of doctor's appointments that I'll tell you about later. So remember when I did the onions the other day? Actually saved a couple of them that were starting to sprout, because you could put them in the sun and then use them for green onions, because I've already had, some other onions that I could use. So yeah, I let it sprout, I let it go, and now I have green onions. So I'm just gonna give a little veggie omelet this morning, and these were freeze-dried mushrooms that I'm letting rehydrate. And I'm just gonna have a little veggie omelet this morning. So for my veggie omelet, this was salsa from 2020. Huge, I don't know why I canned it in quarts, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, put it into a half pint jar, the stuff I'm going to use for now, and then I'm going to freeze dry the rest of it, just so that it stays fresh. I'm so excited. Today, I'm going to make some chicken, like soy sauce, cilantro thing. And yes, I did do a little grocery shopping. I was in Walmart and this called to me today. So I picked up a little bit of produce, spent $45 on food. And I'm probably going to go back for more produce because this girl's been sick and I'm not as into it as I was. But I'm still going to take you through what I'm making. So have fun with this. So this, because I can't do regular spring roll wrappers or like dim sum wrappers, I'm going to use these spring roll wrappers and make like a cilantro pot sticker. So these have the rice paper wrapper, and I steamed them in the pan, and I also fried them at the same time. And now I'm making a little black vinegar and sriracha dipping sauce, and this is really, really, really good. Look at that. Good stuff. I'm excited. So tonight's dinner is a mix of sweet potato fries and regular fries with some bratwurst and onions that I cooked in some beer. And I put some sauerkraut and some of my Grey Poupon mustard. And I have the sauerkraut that I got at the farmer's market earlier in the year. And I thought I'd give it a crack open and see how it tastes. And it's pretty good for canned sauerkraut. I usually like mine fresh, but it's fine.